my name's Andrew Hassard and I'm here from Mango Bikes to talk about starting up a business.
So welcome to ProfileTree TV, and today I'm joined by Andrew Hassard from Mango Bikes. So thank you very much for coming in, Andrew, and having a chat with us today. So you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about yourself and even Mango Bikes as well?
Yeah, my name's Andrew Hassard and I'm the managing director of a company the company's actually called North Bikes Limited, and we trade under the brand name of Mango Bikes.
Brilliant.
We're based in Ballyclare. We have been set up now for about a year. We've been there. We make bikes. Essentially, we make bikes for non-cyclists. We make leisure bikes, recreational bikes, single speeds, fixies, hybrid bikes. You know, a lot of our customers are students and commuters and just leisure and recreational cyclists.
Amazing. So you make bikes for people like me, don't know anything about bikes, but just want something that's nice and practical.
Yeah, I think the way I'd explain it is if you went to a cycling club, and you said, what's that bike you've got? They'll say it's a Trek Madone 3.0, SL 2.0, DA2, yada yada yada, and you know, quite quickly you're bamboozled. With our customer base, what bike have you got? I've got a Mango. Which Mango have you got? I've got the green one. And that's it. And you know, we're happy in our skin that that's our customer base, and we love serving that demographic and that sector of the market.
Amazing, excellent. And we're going to jump in to talk about e-commerce and bikes and all the good stuff there. But you've an interesting background as well, so you've got plenty of experience in the management world. So obviously your path to where you are now, you're running a successful online e-commerce business. But did you have many steps to get to that road?
Yeah, I actually it's 20 years ago this year that I finished university.
You look like you're 22. I don't
Or
believe it.
I am. It's one year of a startup, you say.
Wish we were all there, yeah.
I'm actually 22, yeah. So it was 20 years ago in 1998 I started university, went to University of Leeds. I did food science as my undergraduate degree, and a couple of postgrads in management and marketing from Queen's and Dublin Institute of Technology.
Right.
I worked in the food industry for a few years in a number of roles, in manufacturing operations, supply chain, project and process management, and then moved into the bike industry about 10 years ago. I started off with Chain Reaction Cycles, who were based in Ballyclare, where I'm from. I started with them as a supply chain manager, and then moved when we split the supply chain team into an inventory and commercial trading team. I moved into the commercial trading team and managed one of the big categories within it. I was with the Chain Reaction for about 5 years. Was then approached to be part of a management buy team of another online bike retailer in England. Was part of that for a few years. Then worked for Go Outdoors, who are a big outdoor retailer, stores across the UK, helping them introduce bikes, both branded and their own brand of bikes. But I guess along the way, even from an early age, when I was at school, even through university, and when I was working, there was always a bit of me that I had a desire to be, you know, set up and run my own business. That kind of, I guess you call it entrepreneur, really. Never really did a huge amount about it, but starting as I progressed my career, and there was always a thing that I would say, you know, to myself or say to other people, or in meetings, that if I ran this business, I would do X, Y, and Z, or if I had my own business, I wouldn't do that. And it got to the point where, yeah, that's fine, you can take that on board and you can push it so far. But I realised that I was either going to have to make a big decision that was shut up and do what I'm told, or don't shut up and go and do it myself and actually stop talking about it. So I had been working for myself, doing some consultancy, doing a bit of buying and selling and trading myself. And having worked in the bike industry for about 10 years, had seen a few kind of sectors that I thought were emerging markets and where I thought there was opportunity. So I had started I guess it was probably 18 months ago, 2 years, to develop a range of urban recreational bikes myself. And I had a few people who had always said, look, if you ever set up and do something on your own, we'd like to back you to do it. Come talk to us, put the plan together, put the proposal. So I was at the point where I had a range of bikes developed. I had the proposal, I had all the usual stuff, the cash flow forecasts, the budgets, the investor decks, everything done. We were getting ready to sign the dotted line, press the big red button or the big green button, and say go. And in, I guess it was September, October time, 2017, Mango Bikes went into administration. A brand I knew the guys who'd set it up. The bike industry is pretty small. Everyone knows everyone else. I also had looked at that as a kind of business model that I was looking to emulate, replicate, and the bikes weren't quite the same, but similar to it. So I contacted the administrator. I genuinely had no interest in buying the company or buying the brand or taking it on. I just wanted to see the books, get an idea of what was happening with it, and see if my forecasts and budgets were thereabouts or complete nonsense, and I needed to go back and do some work on it. And what I saw was a business which had the top line go in the right direction, and had just let its cost base and let the bottom line go a little astray. So sat down, did some work on it with my accountant, and that then went figured out it was possibly an opportunity to go for it. Went back to the administrator, put in a reasonably cheeky offer for what we were getting. 24 hours later, he came back. So this is roughly about the end of October 2017. Came back and said, "Okay, go for it." At that point, I went, "Better get this sorted then." So it was about 3 or 4 weeks to sort the legals, get the cash together in place. In December 20, so a year ago, December 2017. I went across with a couple of mates on the promise they were going to get some free bikes if they did a couple of days work for me. I don't actually think they realised what a couple of days work entailed. So we had 2 hard days of slog, handballing a warehouse off all the shelves into lorries, 4 40-foot lorries. We then, week between Christmas and New Year, spent that unloading the lorries. We were originally based in Lauren. I am not a web developer, and I am not a software programmer by any stretch of the imagination, but what they had done when the company went into administration, they programmed a little error into the website so you could put stuff into the basket but you couldn't actually pay for it. And December's just like the worst time to try and do anything that requires first logistics companies. So we had real hassle getting 4 lorries. It was everywhere in the country was too busy with Christmas. Managed to get that at the very last minute before we were going to have to start paying fees for storage in England. Got that sorted, and then so we then go to web development agencies. Can you look at the website? Yep, we can do that in January. Yeah, we can schedule it in for February. Yep, it'll be the middle. So I had the business owner impatience, shall we put it politely. Spent probably a day and a half, a lot of coffee and a lot of to keep me awake, and spent about a day and a half on Google and YouTube. Figured out how to get the website going. On the 31st of December 2017, I placed an order using PayPal, and it worked. And I placed an order using a credit card and debit card, and it worked. And on the 1st of January, we were back up and running as Mango Bikes based in Northern Ireland.
Incredible. What a story. And then I'm sure that was only the start of the work. The last year, I'm sure, has been crazy then.
Yeah, it's been, like I was chatting to someone the other day, and I just, where is the year gone? It's quite genuinely has disappeared in the blink of an eye.
The only problem is next year's going to be faster. It only gets faster. Yeah. It's like crazy. So how do you differentiate your brand today to other brands that might be out there?
Mango is our own brand, so it's not
It's not available anywhere else.
it's not available
Just with
anywhere
you.
else. Just
Brilliant.
through we have some international retailers and distributors, but primarily through the UK, Ireland, and Europe. It's all done via our own website. We then have guys we work with, some in South America, some over in Eastern Europe actually, and we're in discussions with a few others. But so we control, the brand, we control the ranges, we control what's happening with it. But the other big thing is the customization. So for a small company like us, we have over 1 billion combinations that you can make out of bikes. So there's colours and there's styles to choose from. So you can choose the colours of the frame, the fork, the front and rear wheels, the front and rear tyres, the saddle, the handlebars can different styles, different colours, the pedals, the chain, and so what that means is there's over 1 billion combinations. So the customizer is quite a fun thing. We do have those 1 billion combinations, but of course everyone chooses black.
Is that right? Yeah, is that, like how many go you want some
Like
black?
Henry Ford said, yeah, you can have any shade of black you want.
It's amazing.
He was right.
I'm sure again, like anything, bike enthusiasts love going on and actually customizing bikes, and then maybe not placing the order, but still customizing bikes.
Yeah, we quite often get, I went on and created this class bike and it was pink and purple and orange. And what bike did you buy? The black one. But I think that's probably to do with we actually offer a range of pre-spec bikes, and most of those are black or white or cream. So we're making it easy for people to buy those colours.
Incredible, sounds brilliant. And then e-commerce, it's something that a lot of people are interested in doing for the business. But how have you found it over the last year then? Have you found it straightforward, selling online, payment fees, shipping? What's the process like, and how have you found it for bikes? Obviously they're not a small item.
Yeah, it's definitely has its challenges, but if it was bricks and mortar, I could sit here and say it's a whole different set of problems. But we have a fairly easy to use website for customers. Our main focus, but we've not spent a huge amount on it, has been digital marketing. So using Google, Bing, some social media stuff. But yeah, for we've kind of reviewed everything start to finish. So 2018 was a big nuclear reset button that we pressed for the brand. It was the front end of the business. The brand actually wasn't badly affected. There was a little bit of damage that we had to rectify and had to work with people who had paid for bikes and never got them from the previous regime. But it was by and by, it was the front end was still it was two university friends, Ben and Jez, who had set the business up in their final year of university.
Wow.
What they had done was figure out that if they wanted a bike each, and they figured out if they bought 10 bikes off a guy in the Far East, sold 8 to their mates, they could get a free bike each. So they did it, and as these things happen, they did it, and then all of a sudden more people started saying, that bike, where did you get it? So they bought and sold. They basically took their student loans, bought a load of bikes, sold them, reinvested that, and at the end of their final year figured out that they had a business which was viable. Built a nice little brand over the next kind of 4 or 5 years. And then, as sometimes happens, the profits from the far off lands came in, and a few wrong decisions that they didn't correct in time, and it ended up where it was. And it's not a great story to that point, and it's not something that I'm going to relish in or anything like that. But we are where we are, and what they had done, and again, it's something I'll never hide from, and I'll never ignore it. That they built a great little brand that's well trusted, and that's the opportunity I have now is to build on that and take it to the next. I guess it's chapter 2.
Yeah.
Like any story, there's more than one chapter.
100%. And look, knowing the startup world, and we see it all the time. People have an amazing idea and can take start a business, and can take it so far, but it's a different, going from startup to X. There's a different journey from going from X to Y in the journey, and different skill set, different problems. So it's something we hear about all the time. It's brilliant to hear that it's going well. And of all your marketing efforts, then you're finding the ads and Google and Bing are working well then?
I guess that's the one we've been most consistent with.
Right.
For an online business, it's one of the key factors in it that when people are looking for certain types of bikes, we go out there and we fight to get them.
Yes.
We do find already, and it goes back to good work that was done previously with the Mango Bikes brand. That's our strongest return, the most efficient return. So there's a
Brand.
there's a strong brand there as well, but we're looking at the other avenues and we're starting to get some good returns there too. Okay. But our biggest marketing thing is we've tried different channels and we've looked at different things, and definitely 2019 we're definitely going to build on the content marketing is one of them things that to keep bolstering that brand and keep making it a strong brand, and it's a way for us to engage with our current customers and potential customers as well, and have a bit of fun as well. We're not a brand that's we're not getting serious about aerodynamics and what's the lightness of your bikes and what's how many Tour de France winners have you had on your bikes. That's not what we're about. And if that's not a brand to have fun with, then there's no brands to have fun with.
What you do, so you really are keeping the fun in the bikes. It's not for the diehards. It's for people who want to get in and enjoy and actually want to get out and hit the road and cycle. And there's loads of here even in Northern Ireland, and I guess across the UK and Ireland, we're starting to see loads of investment from local governments in cycleways as well. So they're really trying to push and get people out cycling their bikes, which is great, and it's only going to be, I'm sure, good for business. I see they're trying to do cycle routes around Northern Ireland here as well. So. But my excuses are running dry, and
I think that's particularly with our kind of customer base and potential customer base, the investment in cycle infrastructure, will have a massive benefit for us. You go to I've spent a lot of time in Europe and countries like Germany and Holland they're not even 10 years ahead, they're 20 years ahead. That's they actually probably have better relationships between drivers and cyclists because of the infrastructure. In Northern Ireland, we take a road and then we just put some white lines up the side and go, there's this cycle pathway, and that annoys drivers because they get less space, and it doesn't really appease or make cyclists feel any safer. And I guess the acid test would be and it's not a stereotyping thing, but it is will women go and cycle on those pathways. And you go to Germany and they have a road here, and then there's maybe a bit of a field or barriers, and then they have the cycle pathway here.
Oh, so totally separate?
Totally separate. And that's not just, in cities they have them segregated, but even between towns and cities they have segregated.
It's incredible.
And they're also well lit, so people are using them at
so safe.
1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. People feel at ease using them because they're not on a road. They feel safe. They can see what's happening. They're well lit, and they do utilise them more as well.
Yeah, that's amazing, because I think of London. Obviously, you actually need to cycle in London, but then obviously the traffic is so heavy that sometimes it's not the safest. But I know the governments it is something on their list. Cycling is a no-brainer. Get people out off the couch and get them out, bit of fresh air, and
it's going to require buy-in from the highest level to get that investment into it. If Mango can grow and we can be sustainable over the next 4 or 5 years, then it'll be our company's mission to start investing in some of those ourselves. For us, we moved during the summer to Ballyclare. We're actually in one of the old chain reaction warehouses in Doak. So Bike Town continues to have more bikes in it. But there used to be the old railway line between Larne and Doak and Ballymena that I'd love to see that opened. It's be a class if we can play a part in that too in future.
Incredible. I totally agree. Yeah. So I'm looking forward, and even myself, as I said, I'd love to head out on something maybe it's on our list as a family, like young kids, and get them out cycling in the summer when the 2 days of sunshine we get next year. Hit one of these cycle tracks and actually, yeah, get out and enjoy the fresh air and the scenery we have here.
But I guess the Cumber Greenway is a good example of how it does work. Like they're actually reinvesting in it again to widen it and make it bigger because it's getting used so much.
It's incredible, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
great. So in marketing, so it's really interesting. So Google Ads, Bing Ads are working well. You're investing in content marketing, which is brilliant, and I definitely would recommend that to everyone. Content marketing for
In your own
ROI.
biased
Oh
opinion.
well, long term ROI. We tell everyone like you need to be putting content out there. If you're not, your competitors are. So it's very important. And just have you ever tried Amazon, or would you consider Amazon as an outlet?
Possibly, but again, it's we can try and boil the ocean to start with. We will definitely look at it. I think it's a marketplace we can't ignore. But there's certain bits of our infrastructure in the background that we need to be smarter about. Now we would during the summer months we were, yeah, you always want your sales slightly ahead of your capacity, but our sales went so far ahead of our capacity that everything else started to creak and break, and we kept it together. You know, it's our first year, so it's okay. But if we had added Amazon or eBay or any of the other hundreds of global marketplaces that's out there onto that, we would have blown ourselves to pieces well and truly. So I have no intentions of this business to be multi-million pounds within the next 2 years. I think it's about incremental growth and being sensible about what we do, and
Very good. Put in the systems and the processes.
yeah, systems and processes that we can manage the stock. We have a better understanding now of what we're going to need to do operationally next year. Everything from how much stock we're going to need to the processes to the staff, and you know we're constantly working at improving things like that.
Amazing. No, very good. And would you have, so you've went through your own journey, I know in past life, you have loads of experience as well. Would you have any tips or advice for people who are thinking of starting a business or starting their journey and they're facing the first year? What to do, what not to do?
Don't do it. No, stick with your 9 to 5. No, I guess the first bit of it is just doing it. You can plan and make a plan and make a plan, and you know you can refine it, but just get your plans done. But at some point you're just going to have to make the big step of I'm on my own now. I'm fending for myself, and you just got to do it. And a business plan that the banks want, a business plan that some of the agencies want, is good for about 10 minutes. And the second that you have done a day's worth of trading, that's it. It's wrong. It's gone. You need to redo it. And do have your business mission and all the rest of it, and do your planning, but just go for it. Like it's that final step is one of the hardest steps you'll ever make in your life. Just go for it and get it underway.
Figure it out as you go.
Figure it out as you go, because you can be sure that plan that you have refined 500 times within, I'm going to say 2 days, but it could be 2 hours or it could be 2 weeks. You'll have not realised you need to do something. There'll be an extra cost here. Something won't go as planned over there, and that's just part of it. You know, you've got to figure out how to deal with these things.
And how that's what you say. That's part of the journey. How you move around the walls or over the walls as opposed to stop.
Yeah, I think second thing would be cash management. That unless you're even it doesn't even matter. Even if you had hundreds of thousands of millions of pounds in the bank, that it doesn't really matter what size of business you are. That cash management is critical. I hear these things that people say, oh well, I'm an entrepreneur. I look at the bigger picture, and I don't worry about 50p down the back of the sofa. And that's a pretty dangerous thing to tell anyone, and it's a pretty dangerous thing to enact as well. That if you're not all over it, I don't come from a financial background. As I've worked in senior management and executive jobs, I've learned a bit more about it. But as starting up your own business, you have got to be all over the top of your finances. Understanding what's happening with your cash, where it's going, where it's coming from, and how you're going to most effectively use that cash that you have, because, you know, I guess I would say you manage it like your life depends on it, because it probably does. And you know we're a team of 4 now, and 4 employees. So, and this could be for other people starting up, that not only are you responsible for yourself and responsible for your employees, but actually I'm responsible for myself and my family. I'm responsible for my employees and their family as well, and if you're not managing your cash tightly, you're going to get yourself into a sticky situation that's not going to end well for everyone. And that means sometimes making hard decisions, not buying some stuff that you think could go well, not spending money on things that you need to, and really prioritising what you're doing.
Yeah, amazing. So cash is the lifeblood of any business, so it is, especially in this.
I was at a workshop a few months ago, and there's loads of cliches, but a guy from the bank said it quite well, and it's the old cliche of turnover's vanity, profit's sanity, and he said, but actually cash is reality, and that's totally right. And it's you can have all the turnover and making all the profit, but actually what you're doing with that cash and how much cash you have available is the reality of how you run that business. So it was wise words.
Amazing. Most important thing. So very good. So good advice as ever. Thank you.
I guess my final bit of advice would be that the world is full of people who, if you're not going to beat this out, I guess, are full of cow manure, and you need to fine tune your radar to quickly pick up on those. There's
opinions everywhere.
Opinions and people will tell you this, that, and the other, but you've got to, and they can be the most flamboyant. They can be the most, people you could sit and listen to, but actually what they're talking about is nonsense, and you've got to quite quickly filter that out and figure out who you're going to listen to and who you're not. It's ultimately your business and your brand that you have got to be the lifeblood of that brand, and there's plenty of people who, if you listen to them too long, will derail that for you, so be careful.
Very good advice. No, very good. And I would say that you need to take all the information in, but be careful what you actually take on board and put in practice, and make sure it aligns to your business and your business goals. At the end of the day, you're your business. And one thing that I definitely live by is obviously people tell you what to do and tell you how to do things, but I'd get more value in watching what people do as opposed to listening to what they're saying, because actually that's where you see what is really happening and what really works. So a lot of people would tell you do this, but if you actually watch what they're doing and see what they're doing, you'll actually get a better picture, as you say, if they actually know what they're talking about and they actually practice what they preach as well, because they're talking from a place of experience or expertise or something they've read themselves.
I think I've definitely in this last year, bar a few people who are genuine bike designers and experts, when people have started conversations telling me the type of bikes that I should be building, it's just been a switch off, think about something else and smile and nod and say yes every now and again. But the people, some of the best conversations I've had, and most fruitful conversations I've had have the people haven't talked about bikes whatsoever. They've asked me about cash flows. They've asked me about how am I doing versus plans, and things I'm doing in the future.
Amazing.
Uncomfortable. They've asked me uncomfortable things that sometimes I haven't had the answers to. Things that I have been like, oh yeah, I'll be fine, but they've made me think about things that I needed to, rather than just the other bits which people want to talk about that I don't need to help with.
Very good. So I guess obviously you've got a lot going on, a lot of work going on, a lot of things to consider, and I'm sure you're doing your 6 hours of work a day, something like that. Yeah. That's in the morning, but
probably 6 hours out of the 20 that I do are actually useful, but
that's the problem. But back to the impactful time, is you're right. Yeah, I know that story as well. But how do you stay positive then, when things are busy?
I guess I'm an eternal optimist, or an incurable optimist. Really, is helps me a lot. But I enjoy what I'm doing. You do have to take a minute now and again to kind of reflect on where we've come from, and this last year has just it's gone. I was actually chatting to one of the guys the other day, and he was like, "Do you remember last year we were clearing out the warehouse?" And actually, you take a minute or two here and there and step back, and it's things are going the right direction. There's so much more to do. There's been tears, tantrums, and upset along the way, and but you know, overall things are going the right direction. Just take a little bit of time to see that things are going the right direction is definitely helps me stay positive.
Very good. And what's the future then for Mango Bikes? What's next on the horizon?
World domination within
Brilliant.
6 months.
Excellent. We're in the same path then.
No, I think we I've got the basis of a good team in there. We will look at just a small incremental and sustainable growth that we can bring some new bikes to market. We will look at our parts and accessories range and increasing that, and we'll try and grow into a few more countries in Europe this over 2019. We've got pretty strong growth already in Germany and the Scandinavian countries, and we'll look to some of the other regions too and see what we can do there. But everything's, you know, it's just let's build this so we can. I don't really know what the end game is in terms of the number of employees or the turnover, the revenue, but it's just looking and you know, maybe 10%, 20% growth a year, something that we can cope with without blowing ourselves apart and have fun. It's bikes. If we're not having fun building and selling bikes, we're never going to have fun.
No, that's true. Amazing. Excellent. I look forward to following the journey and seeing the growth. And if anyone wants to reach out and find out more about Mango Bikes or purchase or even chat to you guys about what a good bike would be, what's the best way for people to do that?
We think we have, but we've hopefully made it pretty easy. Plenty of touch points with us. We've got through the website mangobikes.com.
Brilliant. Good.
And on there we've got live chat. You can contact us by email, phone, and we have our I'll not call it showroom. We have our workshop and warehouse in Doak as well. That people can come there and see the bikes being built or look at a few of the bikes that are there on display.
Amazing, excellent. So sounds really good. And now I know someone to go and get some advice off for purchasing their next bike. So good man, thank you very much for that, and thank you for coming in today. Anyone wants to reach out, they can click on the links below this video. So we're in the article. They'll find live links to the site and be able to reach out to you as well.
Great.
So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching our video today. It was really interesting to find out all about Mango Bikes and how they're building their e-commerce business online and selling bikes to people who know nothing about bikes. So really interesting to see. So do check out the links below, and do tune in again tomorrow for the next video. I appreciate you watching this video today. And my name's Kieran from ProfileTree, and we are in the Innovation Factory in the Springfield Road. See you soon. Thank you.